Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. Y'all might as well go get your soda, your coffee. You know, go get what you're gonna do. This gonna be a video where we're gonna talk about some stuff. I'm gonna talk about a lawsuit where we helped a client win a case. I got it right here on my phone. My customer service team just texted me $12,000 dismissed with prejudice. I'm going to talk about some of the stunts that the debt collection attorney tried to pull in court on this individual and why you have to stand strong. If you determine that you're going to fight your case, then you have to stand strong and win or lose. You got to stand strong. And you can't stand with one foot in the door and one foot out the door. You have to go all in, and that's what this client did. He went all in. But I'm going to tell you about some of the tricks that the debt collection attorney did all the way up to the case being decided by the judge, and it was dismissed with prejudice. That means it is over. Like you remember when a boxing match and the person gets knocked out or they can't get up by the count of 10. They do this. That's what the judge just did. We just got the text. I just got my text, but he was on the phone with customer service. Also in this video, I want to talk about the PPP loan fraud, paycheck protection program, sentencing, and guilty pleas. This is very important. Now, you might be saying, well, Steve, why do you even be bringing this up about the PPP? Because I have clients that have came to me locally and nationally because they know that I can tell them potential options on working their way through this situation. Even if they did do fraud, there are still options that are available. And it's not that we're trying to, help someone who, like everyone should be able, if you make mistakes, everyone should be able to, work out something. And when you hear some of the terms that these individuals were able to work out, it might, if you're in that situation, then you might have a little bit of level of comfort. There's also some cases where people did straight up fraud all the way through and through for high dollar amounts, and they're facing, a lot of time in jail. A lot of time. I'm going to go through those. But first, let's talk about, like this video. Please like this video right away. I've learned that if you don't like the video right away, I can make the greatest video with the greatest content, but the way that the YouTube works and these different platforms work, you got to like the video. That's the way that it feeds. It's like you're putting coal in the engine of the train or whatever. So, and then if you need help, you can always go to our website, thecreditrepairshop.com. In the bottom right corner, hit that live chat, and we will, tell us your situation. Put your phone number in there, and then we'll let you know how we can either guide you to do some stuff yourself or how we can help you. So let's first talk about the case here. I am not going to mention the debt collector because I don't want to reveal our strategies. That's just the way it's going to have to be. But I will tell you some of the stunts that were pulled in there by the debt collection attorney. And the case was for $12,000 and some change. So you tell me, if you were facing a lawsuit by a debt collector for $12,000, they had you in court multiple times. They produced the documents that they normally produce to people, regardless if you have an attorney or not. They produced these documents. Everybody was telling this individual who was being sued, you should just do a settlement. And I've always said settlement is up to the individual. If you want to fight, then you put both feet in and you fight. If you don't want to fight, that's a personal decision. It's not a right or wrong decision. And then you can start looking at doing something with a settlement. This individual said that he wanted to fight. and he wanted to continue through it, was very unsure of himself. So now, if you want to know something that separates us from other companies, is that when people are unsure of themselves and they're getting into something that they are not sure of, we keep letting them know through consultation, this is what you got to do. A lot of it is just reassurance. It's just like a kid where you're trying to tell a kid that, you're a grown adult, but you're trying to tell your child, hey, you're going to go through this and it's going to be a better time if you just keep working through it. Don't make up a story of something that's going to happen bad. Just keep working your way through it. And that's what we got to do for people with credit repair. That's what we got to do with people who are facing debt collections or looking at trying to work out some sort of a settlement arrangement. Because at that time when you have not experienced what you're going to be going through, it makes this big cloud of uncertainty. And anytime you have uncertainty, our minds start to build up stories, and most of them are going to be negative. And so with credit repair, with debt settlement, with helping people through these court summoned debt collector lawsuits or even original creditor lawsuits, is the reassurance that we give. It is very important. It is something that I didn't even really pay a lot of attention to until years ago when I was hearing conversations from customers calling customer service. And I was like, they just need reassurance. They know that it takes work. They just want reassurance. And they saw the reassurance of the work that we did, but they need personal reassurance that because of that cloud of uncertainty. And it feels good to have someone tell you, hey, this is what other people have experienced. This is what we've experienced through our experience. And this is what you could potentially experience, so they can have something that they can think about rather than thinking about something negative. So this individual, he was very unsure of his situation. The attorney, when he would go to court, they were going back and forth saying, we got someone who's going to testify, come into this next hearing. We got the person all set up and they're ready to testify. And then when he got to court, the attorney gave him some documents that was never presented before to try to bolster the case, documents to him, documents to the judge, and then said that their person was not going to be there. This is a trick that they've played a lot on people, because just to let you a little bit in, like I'm going to just touch a little bit, like dealing with cases could be like this, but I'm going to give you a little tiny nugget. Debt collection attorneys rarely will have access to original documents, especially if it's coming from a third party. Original documents to prove their case. And if you think about it, the attorney that is bringing the case, not when you look at these cases, you need to look at them as, this is the attorney. What are the documents that you're presenting? Not, it's like this hearsay from your client. What do you have to substantiate what you're bringing? Like, have you reviewed it? Is it true? Are those documents authenticated? And there's a lot of documents that must be authenticated. So this attorney first tried to, submit some documents and to get the client a little bit in an uproar, and then tried to say that this individual did not tell him until it came down to the judge's decision, right before everything was going to start, that the individual was not going to be in court. So think about that. You think that someone is going to show up, and then you end up like just saying, okay, because I got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that I'm not going to continue with this. I'm just going to go ahead and just give in. And which there is nothing wrong with that, because that's your own decision. But this individual, he was already 2 feet in. He said, no, I'm going to let the judge make the decision. And the individual, right when he said, we want to go ahead with this trial, the plaintiff attorney said the individual was not going to be there. And then the plaintiff attorney said, I need to get a little bit more time. We've always told our clients, if you've came to multiple hearings, you asked to have the case dismissed. And the plaintiff attorney said, okay, we could let's dismiss it, but not with prejudice. Just so you know, with prejudice and not with prejudice would mean that they could come back later. The client, which we've coached on what you need to say, especially if you've been back and forth, a lot of promises that were supposed to be made by the plaintiff attorney to the court that didn't come through. Client immediately said, no, judge, I want dismiss with prejudice because I've been here multiple times and the information that the plaintiff attorney was supposed to bring for their client has never materialized, never, from one hearing to the next. Guess what happened? Judge said dismiss with prejudice. Case closed, waved the arms, it's all over. It's all over. So if you have a debt collection lawsuit, at a minimum, let us review it so we can let you know how we can help you or give you some guidance on how you can help yourself. Go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. In the right bottom corner, leave your info. Please put your phone number there so we can stop the back and forth. Upload a copy of the summons. We'll tell you how we can help you and what we see. And we do that absolutely free. I don't know if we should do it for free because for some reason a lot of people, not a lot. Whenever I say a lot, I mean some. Some people take advantage of us on that. I'm thinking that you're not the type of person that would take advantage of us on that. Next. All right. We got that. I wanted to say that. Within the last couple of weeks, we're talking about saving individuals for not even cases that I haven't mentioned on the videos, probably $250,000 to $300,000 in cases that were dismissed. And I think that that's a good thing. I'm going to take a quick drink here. All right, let's get to the PPP loans. November, we got cases that some of the cases, there's been a lot of them, but some of the cases that have been resolved. We got Ann Arbor, Michigan, an individual who had fraudulently obtained PPP loans by falsely claiming to operate a business over $100,000 in gross income. She agreed to repay $47,000 of the $100,000 that she received and has to this date returned $25,000 with her plea. From what I can see, their determinations have not, because pleaded guilty, did not go through the case. Looks like she avoided jail time. We got another one here in Arizona. An actual country club agreed to pay $631,000 to resolve accusations of PPP loan fraud that it was not eligible for. The club had applied for $431,000 in 2020. They agreed to resolve it for $631,000. So they must have got more than what they were supposed to get. Was not clear. No jail time on that one. Washington, D.C. public official pleaded guilty to bank fraud, receiving $844,000 PPP loans. He could potentially face a $1 million fine and 30-year prison sentence. They have not done the sentence yet. Here's another one in California. An attorney. I'm not even going to mention the attorney's name, but you can look this up. Allegations of misuse. This is a national, well-known national attorney. Applying for over $274,000 in PPP funds that were used to pay ineligible workers who were not employed by the law firm. Individual in Georgia, high school star, sentenced to 16 months in prison, pled guilty to fraud, admitted to stealing nearly $1 million in PPP funds, which was used to buy a lot of stuff. 16 months in prison. some people might think that that individual got away with what they did. Real estate individual in California allegedly obtained $3.5 million in fraudulent pandemic relief loans through their firm agency and misrepresented the financial need. One of the things that they are looking at is that they are looking at how the funds were utilized. So when I did that website and it stated, it was just used for payroll. What they're doing when they're contacting people now is that they're saying, okay, let's get some details about how this was used. And I spoke about the 941 form that you will get if you have W-2 employees. It will be easily shown how the PPP funds were used. But if you don't have employees and you're subcontractors, which was kind of what happened with that attorney, you could potentially be opened up to using those funds in a way that was not approved. And I'll admit that when they put that out there, I wasn't messing with it except for one company. So I'll be 100% transparent. One of my companies, a staffing company that I own, I did need to use it with that company because I didn't want to lay off the workers, and the companies that I send those workers to, those companies were totally shut down for a time period. And so I did get a PPP loan. I think it was for $17,000. 100% went to those employees. I didn't take one penny for the company. I took out of my own money for the other expenses for the company, but it was available for the employees, and I said, well, at least do that. And here's the other thing. That was just to cover a month, and I think that covered a month and a half or even less than that. The rest of it, I did not reapply, even though they sent me emails to reapply to get more. After that, I just started funding it myself, and I went through a lot of my savings money, but I just didn't feel comfortable going back to go get any more. I just said that, basically for me, I was like, if the world, when this whole thing went down, I was thinking the world was going to end because I'm the type of individual that always went to the office early, and I just thought the world was going to end. And at that same time, my wife was she was on the list for double lung transplant. So I'm going through that. I'm going through how we're going to manage with my four different companies, how we're going to manage everything, plus our retail store. Like, it was a lot of weight on me at that time, a lot of weight on my wife, because she was doing her part, even though at that time she only had 15% lung capacity. And so that's what I was going through at that time. And then we got the call for the transplant to happen. So really, at that time, like, everything was on me. Like, and my wife helps me with a lot of stuff. My wife is not she doesn't just, sit by and I'm running business. She helps with a lot of stuff other than helping with the house. Like, I don't have to do nothing at home. Some of the times I help with cooking, but like, so she's managed. I do business, but she does business and manage the house. So she's doing more than what I do. And at that time, she was taken away, and I had to drop her off at the hospital. I couldn't even go in because of what was going down with COVID. So at that time, I'm like, everything. Like, it was a weird time. But we made it. We're here now, so we made it through it. And she made it through her transplant, and she's doing great. So I did take it for that 1 month to take care of those workers. So I'm fully transparent on it. I gave the 941 documents from my payroll service, and from there, everything was good to go. So it was 100% legit. So here's some other ones with this was one that was interesting that I found was Cabbage Inc. Small business lending profile who is bankrupt. Wasn't Cabbage created by one of the Shark Tank companies? I mean, Shark Tank individuals to show that businesses can go up and down. But it agreed to pay $120 million to resolve allegations that it submitted thousands of false claims for PPP loan forgiveness guarantees and processing fees to the Small Business Administration. There was another one. There's some other ones that are on here with other companies that were similar to Cabbage. So I just wanted to get that update over to you so you can see that there are cases. There's way more than that, but these were some of the ones that caught my attention. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video What Makes Us Different so you can see my 8-point validation process and my 2-phase settlement process. That's the way that we repair credit and increase scores. And we do live customer support. You can call us and we will talk to you to help you through this process, because when we're doing the work, you're going to be kind of unsure, and we talk to you about how to carry on and get to working on yourself while we're working on your credit. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website yournumber3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you early in the game, grab my 3-pack of letters. These letters can help save you time, money, and frustration. Links are all below this video. Subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. Please like this video. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.